So now, what is it that really makes you think she's the one?
Real world, I'm just going to sleep happy and waking up happy. So it's as simple as that. I can.
Everything you explained, the way she made you feel, it's a little bland to me. It's
Mm-hmm.
not.
God, did her brother just say, "Don't give us bland answers"? They can see through the crap. They can see through the crap. They can see that he's just making it. He's just telling them what he feels they want to hear. Oh my God, it's a nightmare. Anyway, hey there. Thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie again. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love is Blind, Season 3, Episode 6. Oh my God. Oh my God. Where do I start? Okay. Um, so the couples meet for one last time on the getaway. They get their phones back, and Nick is asking how have things been. I love the banter between Nick and Vanessa. You can tell they've been married a very long time. Nick was trying to sort of inquire about the sex question, and Vanessa was quick to shut it down. That creepy Uncle Nick wants to know. So then they had to shut that down, and I think it was good because it's always every single time Married at First Sight, Love is Blind. That's all they ask the participants. Have you had sex? Have you had sex? And it's like there's more to these shows than sex. But anyway, so Colin and Matt revealed that they had a fight the night before, and they feel it's brought them closer than ever. And it's like, Colin, who are you trying to impress, or who are you trying to convince? Because we watching it can tell. I personally can tell that Colin is just going through the motions. For some reason she wants to be on the show, whether she's after the fame or whether I think she's more after the fame than the actual relationship, because I don't think she's into Matt as much as she's making out. I think she's doing more or less a Mallory, where Mallory tried to keep convincing Sal that she was really into him. So they all leave. They go to the new apartment block, and Matt and Colin continue to have their conversation. Oh, we're happy. We're now in the real world. We want to see how we both function in the real world and how our relationship will work out. And it's like, nah, this relationship was dead the minute Colin and Cole spoke. So there's no reason for them to keep dragging it. I've said this before, and I'll say this again. They need to allow them to just part ways and move on. This is Nancy for me. I think Batista and Nancy's relationship ended the minute he saw Raven, and he's now just going through the motions. And because I think for him, he didn't expect Raven to look the way she did, and so seeing Raven has really turned him off Nancy. And the fact that Raven shut him down, had Raven given him an opportunity to say, let's keep going, he would have dumped Nancy. But because Raven turned him down, I think this is why he's just going with Nancy so that they can stay on the show. So he met up with Nancy's family, and for me, I think he was giving, the answers that you'd expect, as though he was studying for an exam and had all the answers prepared. And Nancy's family had to say to her, one of her brothers, I think, had to say to him, you're giving me bland responses. There's nothing new about whatever you're saying. I. I somehow feel some type of way, and I would feel the same way. And even Nancy's mom said the same thing to him, that this is my daughter. I want her to be happy, and you don't want to see me angry. I am looking at you. I'm studying you. I'm a bail bonds woman, so I study people. That's what I do for a living. And so I don't know. And the fact that Batiste Batiste is not genuine, in my opinion. He's not genuine. He's representative, is what he's showing. Even in the conversation that he was having with Nancy afterwards, when they were discussing family, when they want to start a family, and what is Batiste's view on abortion. And it's like, it doesn't make sense that, oh, if you make a mistake, you only make a mistake once. After that, you can't. And it's like Nancy was asking him, what do you mean? So you're only allowed to have one abortion and that's it. And because she's a speech therapist, she deals with people with challenges, and she's trying to explain to him that it's not always a good idea to keep a pregnancy just because you want the baby, because there are a lot of challenges that come with the baby that you as a parent might not be prepared for. And this topic. I wish men would just keep quiet, just as they would not like women commenting about their private parts. I wish men would keep quiet when it comes to women's private parts. That's just my opinion. Don't get me on one because I'll go on. Anyway, I digress. From there, families are calling the guys out. They're calling out the BS. They're not going to put up with anything. So Cole and Zainab have an issue in the sense that I think the way in which they communicate, and so it makes me question. Um, Cole said he saw, some of the ways Zainab speaks to him. She comes across as sort of um he thought it was banter when she tells him to do stuff. He didn't realize she was very serious, like he was throwing clothes on the floor and stuff, and she told him put it in the laundry basket. And it sort of comes like across as she's a parental figure to him, the way she speaks to him. She doesn't speak to him like you'd expect a couple to communicate with each other. And I think being people that have recently, matched up, it will take time for them to sort of understand each other and sort of find a way of communicating with each other without triggering that without one triggering the other off. So Zainab turns out both her parents are late, so her stepmom and her stepdad are the people she refers to as her parents. So they go to meet them, and during the conversation, it's revealed that well, Cole's family are not very keen on Cole getting married during the experiment. They apparently their faith sort of is what is sort of making them question why Cole has decided to go down this path. I think Cole might be using that as an excuse. I think he might be using it as an excuse so that he doesn't say yes on decision day. Um, I like the fact that Zanab's stepmom had a conversation with him and told him about the way Zanab grew up and why it was important for him to make sure that his feelings were genuine for her and be honest, and why it was important as well for his family to accept Zanab because Zanab might sort of question whether the reason they don't like her is because of her ethnicity or at the way she looks. And it's already an issue in the sense that Cole has already told her you're a nine and um Colin is a 10. And so I don't know, it's so messy. It's so messy. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. And so that was a good family meetup. And then Alexa and Brennan. Alexa and Brennan, we rarely get to see them. I think the most we've seen is her interaction with Alexa's family, is interaction with Brennan. It was they left the getaway. They went to their apartment. They had conversations because Alexa said she doesn't repeat any item of clothing. She only wears it once, and that's it. So they were talking about how they would be able to sort of make room for Brennan to find space for himself. Um, and it, I didn't realize that Alexa is Israeli. So Alexa took Brennan to her family, and you could tell most of these families are not up with any of this mess. Her dad was very serious. Her cousins were very serious in the questions that they were asking Brennan, and poor Brennan looked like he wanted to run away. He was so afraid. He was saying, I'm normally very good with people, but I'm very nervous. And I think they're trying to sort of suss him out to see how genuine he is. And given the show has been around for a while, it's only right that family members be sort of open and want to know more about why the person who's proposed to their family member has decided to do so and what their intention is. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go. Obviously, it's going to continue. When the episode ended, Alexa's dad was asking for Brennan to just for Alexa to give him and Brennan an opportunity to talk, which is only fair because they want to know who their daughter has said yes to and what his intentions are. So we'll see how that. As for my favorite couple, Raven and SK, for me, I like the way their relationship is progressing. I will continue to say this. So, where do I start? So they came back from their getaway, and we were shown Raven getting to meet SK's mom, and SK's mom was very welcoming, which was very good to see. And she really was doing her best to make Raven feel like she was part of the family. They cooked with Raven a Nigerian meal. They sat down and had their meal and sort of had the conversation in regards of Raven and her family and how her family feel about Raven getting married to SK. And so Raven revealed that her family is not on board with it. They're concerned that they don't think it's a good idea. And for me, it's sad. Really, it's sad because SK, I think from all the guys we've seen this season, he's actually in my opinion, the best. I don't know whether I'm biased or not, but he's actually the best. He's very educated. He's very respectful. He's eloquent in his speaking. He's everything you'd want on paper for someone to marry your child. So I don't know why they've decided to sort of step away. I think if nothing else, they should have got to meet him and sort of seen who he is and then made their decisions based on the information that they obtained by seeing him. SK's mom did mention that, Nigerians are very much into family, so it is worrying that her family are not willing to sort of participate in the ceremony and all. But she wanted Raven to know that she was welcome into their family, which was good for Raven because it was able to reassure her. Because I think one of her fears was the fact that, how will the Nigerian family welcome her? And SK actually brought it up to his mom to sort of reassure her, and his mom was able to speak to her and sort of explain to her how it works and the fact that once they, as the family, accept her, everybody else is going to accept her. Nobody's going to turn around and say no, because as long as the immediate family has accepted her, that's the most important thing. I like the fact that they have honest and open dialogue. Um, I was a bit antsy though because obviously, um, he was going, SK was going off to college to do his postgrad, and there was the issue of Raven was going to stay because of her job in Dallas, and she they sort of had the conversation, and I thought, you could tell on SK's face that he was worried that she might not be willing to compromise because she was telling him, I don't want to change anything about myself. I like where I live. I like the fact that it's close to my work. I don't want to change my lifestyle. I want to be able to go and get a meal when I want to. I want to do this. And it's like, yeah, you want things, but in the same breath, she was understanding. I think it's the editing because she explained that, in an ideal world, I would want to get married, buy a home, have a family and stuff. But I understand that SK is still in college. So we have to take that into consideration that those plans might be moved back a couple of years, which for me is good that she's able to understand that. I don't know how she will then put that into practice because you have to look at the long-term goal. Would she rather marry someone who doesn't treat her great, like what's his name, this little boy, Bartise? And or would she rather marry someone where there is a prospect that things could improve and actually be way better than she ever expected? So I think she needs to understand and she needs to be willing to compromise. I'm not sure how I feel about the fact that she was saying to him, if you're at school in LA, you need to be paying part of my rent. And it's like he might not be coming down as much as you'd want him to come down. So what's the purpose in him paying part of the rent? Is it because he's leaving his stuff with you, or is it just the fact that you're husband and wife? That much I didn't understand. I would understand him paying part of the rent if he's leaving some of his belongings with her, with the intention that once he finishes his course, he's coming back to Dallas to her. But just the fact that they're married, they're husband and wife, no, she needs to look for something cheaper. He's going to be living as a student because he understands that his income is taking a hit. She needs to be willing to do the same. I don't know. Anyway, I'm over analyzing. Anyway, I digress. Thanks, guys, for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye, everyone.